Hey everyone, Lexi Johnson here, and you may be enjoying these interviews. I know I am, and I interview them, right? But going back and watching them, I've been thoroughly enjoying them. And I'm not going to keep you long before this next interview, but I just wanted to say this. If you have been contemplating doing a mission trip, and maybe you've not done it before, maybe you haven't done it in a while, we want you to really, I encourage you to highly consider Money Mastery for Her Missions. We are very intentional about the work that we're doing and the places that we're going. We train our missionaries, which means, but we, make sure that everyone is ready. So if this is something you've never done before, you don't have to worry about it, because we are going to train you physically, mentally, spiritually, about what it means to do mission work and what God wants from you and all of those things, right? So if you've been thinking about it, think no more, okay? Just simply reach out to me, hello@thelexijohnson.com, or you can even in any one of these broadcasts, drop a comment, let me know that you're interested, inbox me, give me your email address so I can put you on the email list, because we're going to be announcing next year's trip in August 2022. Okay. So if you want to be the first to get the news, let me know so that you can be the first to get the news. You're now going to be listening to Missionary LaSheena Doxley, and you're going to, as the others, you are going to enjoy this interview. So I'm going to get out the way. Y'all enjoy. Hey everyone, we are here with another one of our fabulous missionaries, LaSheena Doxley. So glad to have you on. Tell everyone who you are, what's going on with you.
Hello, everyone. I am LaSheena Doxley. I am a missionary getting ready to attend the Ghana trip. I am super excited. I am a wife of going on 17 years, a mother of 6, and I have my hands in a lot of pots. I'm a busy woman, but I love God, and my passion is really, truly strengthening relationships, really helping couples and families connect and stay connected. So, yeah, that's who I am. Just a brief.
Awesome. And I am so excited to have you on the trip. So what made you, you heard about the mission trip, but what was it that made you be like, okay, yes, I'm going to go. Let me put my money down. I'm going.
Okay. So to be completely honest and completely transparent, when I actually, there was 2 things. God speaks to me through dreams. So I had a dream that I was leaving with Lexi, and she was leaving from this house, and I was rushing with her to get into this vehicle with her before she left. That was the first cue. And then when I saw Lexi post, I think she already had pretty much everyone that was going on this mission trip. When she posted on social media, it just stood out to me, like I have to be there. So I reached out to Lexi, and she wasn't even reaching out like who wants to join. She was just sharing information about the mission trip, and these are the missionaries that are attending. And it was at that point that it was just really strong in my spirit that I was supposed to be there. And after I called her, reached out to her to ask if there was still any openings, she said yes. I then, a week later, found in my journal a dream that God had given me, I think 6 months prior to this, that I was traveling to Africa.
Wow.
I had no idea. And so that just all confirmed it for me. So I truly believe that this is ordained by God, that I was supposed to be there and supposed to. So there was no hesitation at that point. All the signs pointed that this is where I was supposed to be. And immediately my husband, I consulted with him. He supported me. And here I am on my way in just 2 weeks?
Yeah,
To Ghana on this missions trip. So really it
yeah.
was God pointing me in this direction.
Awesome, awesome, awesome. And I have to be very transparent as well. So as LaSheena's going through, you know, what she's going through on her end, as she explained to y'all about her dreams and everything, at this point, we did have several people, you know, who had already responded. And I've shared this with LaSheena and a couple of other of the missionaries. I had a lot of people who had responded, and y'all have to forgive me, my studio is a little warm. I had shared with her that though I had quite a few people coming, these were all people who were new to not only just missions, but not even necessarily people who have ministered, you know, in any way. They weren't preachers, they weren't teachers, they weren't, you know, not and some of them are, but not necessarily like in the spiritual space, right? And so when she came aboard, listen, I was super excited because I was like, yes, I got somebody who's you know, experienced speaking in front of crowds and all of that kind of stuff. So super excited that you're part of the team. So tell everyone, because I know, like, yes, wow, it's exciting. Yes, I'm going to Africa. Certainly there may have been early on, and maybe even still now, some concerns or some fears that you may have had, or may have had.
Yes. So for me, the biggest thing that I'm noticing actually more currently is how long I'm going to be on that flight and in the air. I think that really concerns me the most. It's something about feeling like you're not on land and you're not in control for that amount of hours. So I think, I mean, I'm just being 100% honest, but that is really the thing that's been you know, kind of different for me, you know, because I've never taken a trip across the country this far. So to be in the air more than 4 hours or even 6 hours is kind of, you know, scary. It's like, okay, Lord, I truly got to trust you on this journey, you know. So that's one of the things that has recently come up for me in regards to this trip.
Yeah, you know, I have to tell you, even though I have taken these long flights before, it's still, I'm still always a little bit nervous about them. And like you said, you just have to be like, all right, Lord, you know, I trust you. So this is what I'm going to do. Nothing will happen before it's my time. You've given me assignment, and so therefore I'm not going to worry about it. I'm going to keep it moving, right? But I certainly understand. Any other concerns or fears that you may have had?
More so, that's been really I just can't believe it's coming up so soon. Like, it seemed like it was just December when I spoke with you, and I just kind of, you know, just went along with my life and daily life, you know, not necessarily really like completely focused on it. And now that it's coming up, I'm like, wow, like in 2 weeks, this is really happening. If any other concerns have come up for me, it would more so be just the whole customs, like, you know, the process, you know, vaccinations and, you know, all of that, having all of that in place to even be prepared and ready to go. If any of the concerns, it would be more so that for me.
Cool. So do you feel like, because as you said, you came on in December, we really started preparing and having our monthly meetings, like I think we started like in September or October, and you joined us, like you said, in December, and we've been preparing since then. How do you feel like that process has gone? Do you feel like you're as prepared as you can be? What are you feeling like?
I feel like it's been helpful, to be honest. Because even when I went to my physician just recently, in regards to the yellow fever vaccination that's needed in order to attend to have access over there, I he was asking, is there anything else? And I felt very educated because of the preparation. Like, we knew, what to prepare for in regards to, what medications we may need to ask for beforehand to prepare us for the trip and so forth. So all of that has been very helpful, in being able to be educated, about what's important and what's needed before heading over. So that communication has been really good. And I do believe it's been helpful in being able to prepare. And I'm so glad. Thank you for like the recordings as well, because I find myself right now just going back and trying to like just, those things you may forget, but catch myself up, because it's coming up so soon. So now it feels more like an urgency, but I do feel better prepared than if I would have just, done this on my own or anything like that. So I do feel like you guys did a great job of just preparing us.
Awesome. So what are you expecting when you get over there?
You know what, Lexi? I really, I know, I really don't have an expectation. I really am just looking forward to showing up and say, okay, God, how are you going to use me? And Lord, my expectation also is to be able to receive, almost like, God, what do you have for me? You know, it's just been a extremely busy like year for me and for my family. I mean, just on the go. But I've recently had just a little bit of time to just kind of be still, and it's been really good. And I'm really looking forward to, like, okay, God, I just want to show up. However you choose to use me, I want to be used, but also open to be able to receive whatever it is he has for me there. So whatever experience that is. So I have an open mind and an open heart. And that's pretty much my expectations.
Awesome. I know God can do amazing things when you're just like open to the experience and you don't have a whole lot of expectation. I know the first time that I went on a mission trip overseas, I was the same way. I'm like, okay, I don't really have any expectations. I'm just going to go over there open minded because, people would try to, well, especially here in the US, Africa has been painted in a certain way. Anytime you hear anything about it, it's always about how poor the people are, all of this. And it almost makes it seem like, the people don't have anything, the people don't know anything, and all of that. And so I know the first time I went, I'm like, I'm just wiping all of that out, right? Not going over there with any expectations. And I know that for me, the Lord showed up in the most amazing way. And that's what I'm excited about for you all. Because I know that I don't know what he's going to do, but I know that he's going to show up in the most amazing way for you guys. So what are going to be some of your roles over there? What do you, does it make you nervous? Tell us all about it.
I am a little nervous because, like I said, I don't know what to expect. I don't know what I'm exactly showing up to, what the situation is going to be, and so that part, I am nervous. I will be speaking at a youth summit. So as you know, our major mission that we're doing is the My Period campaign there. And so I will be speaking at the youth summit there. I will be able to speak to the youth in regards to hygiene and regards to their menstruation and things like that. And I'm excited about that because it's amazing how God already kind of prepare you for certain things years before and you don't even realize it, but as he moves you into the direction that he's leading you, the pieces are coming together, the puzzle pieces are coming together. So before I went to graduate school, I was working for a nonprofit organization, and I had a position where I was a comprehensive sex educator, and I went and taught middle schoolers about the reproductive system, about the changes that is taking place within their bodies, and teaching them about their bodies and the things that's happening and why it's happening to them, talking about puberty and decision making and things like that. So in one of the conversations were about, the period and the menstruation when they have that. So I'm like, wow. So the fact that here I am 8 years later, after when I did that for about 2 years, I have just material curriculum and the knowledge that I've received over that. I'm like, God, you positioned me exactly where I needed to be. So when I told you in the beginning, like literally God led me to this and how everything else is lining up, I'm just like in awe and amazed. So that's one of the things I'll be doing. And then I found out recently also that God is leading me to actually teach while I'm there. I'm going to say teach or preach while I'm there, which is completely not what I typically, I do teach, right? But when you think of it in terms of being in a church and speaking, and preaching or teaching God's word, that's not necessarily in that format or formality that I've done. So that will be that's God is leading me to that. And so I'm looking forward to how God wants to use me once again. And so I'm excited about just showing up, preparing myself, mentally, spiritually, emotionally now. Over this last 30 days, I've been, preparing myself. So, and just having myself open and ready for how God wants to use me. So I know the Spirit has already went before me and he's going to lead and guide me. So I'm just excited. So he's definitely pushing me outside of my comfort zone during this mission trip. So yeah, so I'm just like, Lord, all right, have it your way. And I'm looking forward to the growth, and return and just change, honestly. So I'm excited.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. For each one of us, and I'm sure every missionary is feeling like that. Like there's one hand where you feel like, okay, I've done that. Like I can do this, over there. And then there's the stretch piece, right? Like, and it's like, okay, what are you doing here, Lord? And that, and trusting him in that. And so I'm just excited for you all because, I know it's like, oh my goodness, you're going to be able to do. I'm trying to make it so that everybody is able to do what they feel gifted to do, what they, things that they desire to do, but then also those things that is going to stretch them a little bit as well. So you talked about the My Period campaign, which we are still raising funds for. And so we want you all to know that you can still donate. $1 goes a long, long way. And in fact, $1 is like it bounces between $7.95 or $7.98 in Ghana cedis. And so LaSheena, when you heard, as I asked her this question, I'm gonna pop the link up on the screen. You all can donate. You can go to this link and donate. And whatever platform that you're watching this on, in the description, you're gonna see the link for this donation as well. You can just click on it and go and donate. And you can choose, it'll ask you for the referring missionary, and you can certainly choose LaSheena as the referring missionary and donate on her behalf. But LaSheena, as we chose this project and we began to talk about what this would be about, what do you feel about it as far as what you know and the need and everything? What are your thoughts about it?
Well, I'm gonna first off say I believe that is truly an injustice that this is um, in Ghana. This is a deficit for them, for the young girls to have to miss school 1 to 7 days a month due to their menstruation because they don't have the resources such as pads to be able to utilize while they're um, during their menstruation period. You know, that's an injustice. That is an injustice. The luxury tax, you know, that I mean the luxury that having pads are there. That's something that we have easy access to, that our kids here in the States don't have a problem, you know, being able to have the pads that they need in order to take care of their hygiene, take care of themselves during that time of the month. So I completely think that it is an injustice. And truly, we want to provide as much help as we can while we're there and provide them with the resources and the things that they need in order to continue to be successful, show up in the school setting, and not have that be a limitation because they do not have the sanitary napkins that they need.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. And so again, if you won't be able to travel with us, but certainly if you want to be part of what we're doing, you want to covenant with us, you want to have an impact, with what we're doing as well. Like I said, certainly you can donate, and you can, you can donate $2, you can donate $5. Doesn't matter, because your dollar is going to go very, very far. $1 is going to buy one pack of sanitary napkins, and of course, if you have the $500 or the $1,000 or the $2,000 or whatever, we will gladly take that as well. It's just more that we can provide. We want every young lady that's going to be there that day that we're doing the My Period campaign, sanitary napkins. So at least this year they don't have to worry about the cost of sanitary napkins. And by the time we return, it'll be time to re-up. But that's our goal, to send each and every lady who comes out to the My Period campaign home with a year's supply of sanitary napkins. And so again, you can donate. And again, the referring missionary, you can put LaSheena's name in there. If you're watching this, put LaSheena's name in there. And we just thank you in advance for helping us with that endeavor. All right. So I want to ask you, I want to delve a little bit deeper into some of the things to the role that you're going to be doing, but the newer role per se, in now she won't call it this, right? But she's going to be, speaking during a divine hour at one of the churches in Ghana. So she's going to be, preaching, and there are all kinds of different types of preachers. There are preachers who are, more of teachers, and you guys know this or whatever. But when you got the call that that you were to do this, because let's be honest, right? I'm gonna be transparent with people that Sheen off the hook. Like, I called her and said, this is what she's going to do. Right now, I didn't call her like just out of the blue or anything like that. I had been praying for weeks. I knew that we needed from our team, we needed some preachers. And there isn't anyone on our team this particular year outside of myself that actually has the title of pastor, right? But that doesn't mean that people don't have the gift to do so. So I actually called her and said, this is what you're going to do. Right. But again, not because I just said it. It was because I had prayed on it for some time. But when you got that call, what was that like?
It was a shock. To be honest, I'm like, I almost felt, I was like, oh, okay. So, she led off like, LaSheena, I've been praying. I really have been praying. And she said, and your name, it just won't go away. It will not go away. And I'm like, oh, look, I'm like taking deep breaths. I'm like, huh? So that, like when she said that stretch piece, like God is really stretching me on that. But you know what? I was okay. I'd rather be obedient, and I trust, when you have people in your life that are connected, and that when they say they are praying and they say they're going to pray, and that they're praying and that they hear from God, you just have to be obedient and have a spirit of discernment. So my fear is what tried to captivate me first. Like, who you're not talking to me. But I'm like, okay, Lord, however you want to use me, you sent me all the way this way. You've directed me in this path for a reason. And so I truly want to be obedient and get the full experience of what God is trying to do, not only how he's trying to use me, but what he's also trying to do within me as well. So, but yes, I was nervous when, yeah, and then the thing is, it was like, there's only like, I think you said 3, and there's a lot of us going. So it would have been different if like, okay, there was only 5 of us going or 3 of us going. And then you just like, all right, LaSheena, I'm gonna need you to step up for this. Right. But no, there's quite a bit of us. How many in total, Lexi, going?
15.
15, right. So I'm like, okay, this had to be, she really was praying.
I was. But you just say, how did I make the short list?
Out of 15, right.
Yeah, absolutely. But yeah, definitely, it's going to be amazing. Everybody has, a little bit of a stretch assignment. And the thing is, for those of you who are watching and you're considering, doing a mission trip, don't be afraid of the stretch assignments, right? Like, honestly, and this is not to, this is not to say that all of a sudden she's going to come home and she's going to have a church and all that. No, because pastoring really isn't just about that. The gift of pastoring is having a church and, preaching every Sunday is just like a smidgen of what pastoring is. And our missionaries have, learned that because we did a thing on spiritual gifts. But even beyond that, just being a pastor, just being a vessel, and there's a message, right, that is being that's being carried. So when LaSheena and I were talking, and I was telling her, I'm like, hey, we are not expecting you to, sound like traditional pastors or, any of that. I'm not asking her to, go hoop and holler. I'm not asking her to do any of those antics, right? I call them antics. But simply whatever the message is that the Lord gives her, she's to give to the people. And that's it, right? That's it. Everybody, I remember when, because as you know, LaSheena, like my husband and I, we got the call to pastor, and we've only been pastoring for a year. Now we've taught, we've preached, we've, done all kinds of things. But to officially have our own ministry, we've been doing that for a year. And I ran from it for a long time because I felt like I'm not that traditional pastor. I'm not, I don't want to be hooping and hollering or whatever, unless the Spirit leads me in, in a certain way or whatever. That's one thing, but I don't want to, that's not who I am. And so it wasn't until I finally realized that the Lord isn't calling me to be like everybody else. He's calling me because he wants me to be me. Yeah. Just open my mouth. He'll fill it and tell the people what he wants. He wants to be heard. So that was the encouragement that I gave LaSheena. So if you're considering doing, a mission trip, I don't want people to get scared and be like, oh my God, I might get assigned.
Right. Something to do. Right. And it wasn't at the beginning, literally. This was like much, later, so yeah. And it's God all the way. So I'm just excited, at the same time. And he's God, and he always knows how to make sure we're prepared and, help us, especially when we're willing to be obedient. So, although we may get nervous, or I may get nervous, I know he's there. He's already preparing me. So
yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. So before we wrap up, because there are people that are considering doing this mission trip. Like I have a list of people already who have been like, I want to go the next time you go, or send me the information because I'm certainly praying about it. I think I want to go. What would be your words of encouragement to them? How would you encourage them to be like, you know what, just go, just say yes?
just say yes. Let's see. Just don't think about it. You can ask God, Lord, am I supposed to be here? And you feel led. Just follow your spirit, and everything else will line up. It will line up accordingly. So just trust the spirit that's within you. Because if you're questioning it, if it's a thought, it's there for a reason. And it's funny because I used to always, I said, I want to go on a mission trip. I want to go. And I never would have thought it would have came this way, but it was something I've always desired to do. But I never would have thought, it would have came in the manner of which it came. So just trust and follow your spirit when the opportunity presents itself. God is never going to steer you wrong. So he's always speaking to us. I just want to encourage you that, like, he's always speaking to us. Like I said, for me, like, I'm a dreamer, and he gave me a dream about it months before, where I wrote it down literally in detail, literally to the point where I wrote that I was speaking. And I had no idea that this mission trip entailed my idea of a mission trip, to be honest, because this is my first time ever doing this, right?
Yeah.
My idea was I'm just going to go and serve and show up and serve. How am I supposed to serve, over in another country, that's less fortunate than us? So that's what I looked at it as. And that's what I went into it as. I had no idea about all these other pieces and components and parts to it at all. But see, God knew, and he was already preparing. So just trust and follow your spirit. He's always speaking to you, so he won't steer you wrong.
Oh, that's beautiful. That is beautiful. And so on that note, we want to thank everybody for tuning in. Keep watching for us. We're going to be, as we prepare to go over there, once we get over there, we'll be putting up pictures and, little videos and things here and there. So y'all keep watching for us. And we thank you for tuning in. I want to remind you that, again, you still can donate. The link is down at the bottom of the screen. You're referring Missionary as LaSheena Doxley. And we thank you. We thank you in advance for donating. We thank you in advance for supporting this broadcast. We thank you in advance just for supporting us as we go over and do God's work. For surely the kingdom of God is at hand. Good night, everyone. See you next time.
Good night. Thank you.